So the freedom is internal system and all of the material within the system, from the choices mind spirit, choices mind logic, 12 keys, the pocket companion, as well as first, the what book. In all of that, it's about really providing individuals, people, a simple explanation of how quantum physics and spirituality work together to manifest one's life, so that you can manifest that life and be in ease, grace, abundance, happiness, joy, flow. And that doesn't mean you don't have challenges. It only means that you are able to address those challenges with clarity of purpose. And with that clarity of purpose, then, you are able to really know what steps to take, how to take them, so that all of your efforts are not in vain. They are with prosperity and your growth. Because when you grow, when you allow yourself to grow from one level to another level to another level, and you perpetuate that growth throughout life, there is a fulfillment within self that becomes never ending. So it doesn't matter what happens in life. It doesn't matter what changes in life. It doesn't matter if things that you thought were going to happen didn't occur. You come to realize and to recognize that all things are occurring within the energy that you are putting out. Now, energy requires it to have a free flow. So any impedance to energy having a free flow is often met with static or some kind of an explosion. So once you become aware of how to use energy in your life to serve you, and to serve you in everyday things, to all the way to health, all the way to how you want your life to be financially, and what you truly, really want from life. In the years that I have been involved in understanding the quantum physics of spirituality, and that it is a term that I associate with my material, with the freedom is internal, the quantum physics of spirituality. In that, I have come to know how we influence life, again, through the energy that we use. And energy is also a state of consciousness, a state of mind. From our thoughts, it takes energy to have thoughts. So whatever are these quote-unquote thoughts, this is what ends up being manifested in our life. So if we are constantly in the thought of lesser than, we are going to use the energy associated with lesser than to manifest, to create lesser than. If we have the thoughts associated with greater, then we will create, manifest, bring to us, attract to us what will create greater. If we are still looking for answers outside of ourselves, then we're going to take a forever journey of discovering that the answers do not lie outside of ourselves, because that's, again, the energy we're using. We're using that energy called outside of self. In all of this, it doesn't matter what it is that you're choosing to do, how you're choosing to do it. It's all encompassed in the energy that you are choosing to use to either elevate your life, keep your life in status quo, or keep your life in dramas and turmoil. And those are all free will choices. And in every one of those free will choices, at any point, you can choose differently. And in choosing differently, it gives you the option to have a different kind of experience. But before you can come to really being able to have a flow in life where all of your energies are being used in a forward motion and not just being used, you have to have clarity of mind. Clarity of mind is really the ability to say, this is what I truly want for my life. Not what you think you want, but what your heart, your soul, all of you is saying, this is it. This is what I want. This is what will allow me to be the best me. This is what is going to allow me to have the kind of life that I really passion to be able to live. So many times when individuals come to me, they ask for certain things. I would like to have this. I would like to have that in my life. I want to have this in my life. I want to have that. I want to be able to have this. I want to have this much money. I want to have this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And yet, they don't have a single thought, a single output of energy toward that. It's quite the opposite. And they get confused as to why they're not manifesting. And yet the confusion of why they're not manifesting is because of the energy that they are choosing to use within what will allow them to be fulfilled. But as long as they have allowed their mind to make that choice for them over what truly brings them joy, and allowing that joy to really guide them into the fulfillment that they can have, it will be what I call a constant gerbil wheel. And what is that gerbil wheel? It's going around and around and around and around in the same place, getting off at the same place. So you're spending a tremendous amount of energy to go nowhere. And you end up frustrated. You end up hurt. You end up feeling like your life is over because you don't know what to do differently. You do know what to do differently, but you're just not listening to yourself. And that's where the Freedom is Internal system can support you. Depending on your resistance to the truth that lives within you, this isn't about a my truth or your truth or the truth or the truth or whatever. It's the truth that lives within you. The more you are resistant to the truth that lives within you, the longer it's going to take for you to really clarify and understand how you and only you are choosing to use energy to create through, to manifest through, to live your life through. And there isn't a single human being, no matter your age, no matter your vocation, no matter your affiliations, that is different. Here is where we are all the same. Here is where we are all one. We are all one in that desire and that passion to give and receive love, to feel fulfilled by that, to what it is that we give, what it is that we give. And when we feel that that is blocked off because we're looking for love in all the wrong places, or we are looking for love outside of ourselves, then what ends up happening is It's another gerbil wheel of output, another gerbil wheel of disappointments, another gerbil wheel of going around and around and spending a lot of energy and going nowhere and ending up at the same place and not knowing the reason. The reason is simple. You're not listening to yourself. You're not listening to the clues that your body is giving you. You are not listening to what your heart says would be the fulfillment that you would love to live. Not your neighbor, not somebody else, but you. Maybe that joy comes in being a farmer. Maybe that joy comes in being a homemaker. Maybe that joy comes in being a physicist, a scientist. Maybe that joy comes in being an IT guy or gal. Maybe that joy comes in preparing food for others. That joy, that beingness of self, that can come in so many different packages, but it's for you to listen to them. Because when you do, your energy becomes unlimited. How do you know when you're not listening? You're freaking tired. Because now you're using energy, and this is the quantum physics part, okay, in resistance to what your body is telling you it wants to do, what your heart and your soul is telling you, hey, this is you. How about living you? And you simply are not listening because you think you should. You think you should do this, and you think you should do that, and you think you should do this and this and this and this and this. No. It's what brings you joy. That's your only should. Now that joy, of course, comes in a package of accountability, responsibility, unconditionally, simultaneously with self and others. And that's the key. Now, I've given you a lot of food for thought. And if this food for thought is interesting to you, go to VeroniqueInc.com, VeroniqueCorbett.com, and you can learn more on how you can get off the gerbil wheel of frustration, hurt, sadness, illness, dramas, traumas, and truly live a life of freedom and joy as you were meant to live. Namaste. Happy trails, Veronique.